over there is.
That's
because
right.
Ozone has been going very heavy into wards at level 1, picking up 4 to 5 wards right in their initial buy. And they've also been using a lot of Nunu. So
they seem to have done a very good job. Ozone did a very good job of figuring out the level 1 in 4.5 against SKTK, and I would be shocked if Blue won't show us some of the same things. So Nidalee, LeBlanc, Yasuo, and Kha'Zix ban. Of course, Yasuo kind of a must ban against Dade. He's definitely, I would say, he's definitely in the running, if not the best Yasuo in Korea right now.
Oh yeah, it's him and Pawn, and that a little bit surprising they would ban Yasuo after seeing the Nidalee ban from Blue, because Dade and Pawn, the Samsung mid laners, really like to counterpick Nidalee with Yasuo. So there's Ryze gone, and of course Jackson. They're not actually going to first pick Jax. Lee Sin may be the pickup here for Spirit, but it may also be Thresh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's Thresh for Heart. All right. And, you know, that's interesting because we just talked about how Madlife and CJ Frost have been moving away from this Thresh. So, I mean, it's a kind of an ambiguous pick. It doesn't tell you a lot about the team comp, and I suppose it is a relatively safe pick, but still a little bit surprising. Of course, Swift with the Cloud Templar tribute with that Skarner hover over. You never know. In fact, we were kind of teasing Cloud Templar before the match today, saying that in his pro career, he actually only played Lee Sin one time. And I'm like, well, yeah, same amount as he played Trundle, right? He didn't look too happy when I said that, actually. Yeah,
of course, the famous accidental lock-in in the Champions Winter Finals from last year. And there's the Ziggs. So they're denying the Ziggs from Dade. Of course, Dade loves picking up that champion when it's available. But not going to get it tonight. And, of course, Lee Sin going to be locked in for Swift as well. Spirit playing Pantheon. Pantheon has not seen a lot of use recently, and he's got a lot of choices, too.
I may not see any today, either.
Mundo locked in as well. So Ozone has really gone back to this Mundo pick in 4.5, thinking that he really has a lot more time to safely farm up to level 6 and get to that super tank status without being bullied around in lane due to the lane swapping that's occurring. So look, Blue definitely with the same thought process as their sister team right now.
The Trundle Troll, of course. Cloud Templar, he can't escape. He will never escape that accidental Trundle pick in the Champions Winter Finals from 2012.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was also the last game of the finals.
It was Game 5, yeah.
Game 3.
Game 3. Oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't get to Game 5 that match,
we did
we?
not.
Yeah, Sword, Najin's Sword, way back when, 3-0ing CJ Frost in the finals. That was a fun series. Well, not for Frost, but it was fun for us. And there's that Jinx for Space. He has been playing it quite a bit. Leona for Madlife.
Pretty standard lane right now, and with the Mundo coming in and having watched Samsung Ozone's game, I'd be pretty confident that I was going to get a lane swap here. And of course, Jinx, the queen of the lane swap, just has such incredible speed.
Oh yeah, and you can push through it so fast with Jinx.
Knocking down towers, and a very safe mid lane as well. Also, Dade has been playing some Orianna recently, and you don't really want to pick Orianna into Ziggs. You will get harassed quite a bit early on in the game.
Yeah.
So out of Dade's other champions right now, they banned the Nidalee, which he's been playing. Yasuo's gone. He's also played Ryze and Ziggs. So they're trying to force him onto an Orianna pick here, actually, because that has been his default. Now, we may see the Lulu, of course, coming up, but that's not a champion that Dade has played a whole lot.
Well, we do see Soraka every once in a while, too. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, Deft going with the Kog'Maw, and it will be the Orianna, after all, for Dade. He's not afraid of any poke.
This is an interesting strategy by Frost here to last ban that Ryze, and just due to the Nidalee ban as well, and the early Ziggs pickup, first rotation Ziggs pickup from Frost.
Yeah.
They really played this out quite nicely, I have to say, Doa.
Yeah, not bad. Actually, what's interesting, going back real quick to the Orianna pick against Ziggs, Ziggs did just get an auto attack range nerf. So do you think that is enough to make that Orianna a little bit more comfortable? I feel like it's not. It's a little bit of something. It's something.
It's a little bit of something, but they still got a counter pick here. So I think Frost did quite well overall in the pick and ban phase. Of course, they have Shyvana for Shy, but they're going to want that in the Mundo lane with the Blade of the Ruined King, and Shy is going to be going for Ignite this game against a Teleport Mundo. So
we saw the problems that running Ignite caused for Impact and SK Telecom, so...
Well, right, but Save, on the other hand, did successfully run an Ignite Shyvana against a Teleport, which was quite impressive. So it just requires a lot of very active pushing good team communication so that nobody's trying to make plays when you're not in lane and able to deal with the teleporting Mundo. So it can be done, but it certainly makes things more difficult, and there's a large margin for error.
Yeah. Well, there's our 80 carries, of course. Finally, at the most important role on the team, Thresh versus Leona at support. I'm excited about the new possible support that's coming out. I hope he's a support. All indications point to support. Right, please. All right, guys, it is time. Game 1, Samsung Blue versus CJ Frost in this round of 8 match here in the Champions Spring Quarterfinals. Let's get in the game.
누가 뭐라 그래도 프로스는 롤판의 명가예요, 명가. 아주 프로스 대박의 결승전 우승입니다. 모든 우승이 이뤄내기 어렵겠습니다만 이건 정말 드라마 결국 기적과도 같았고 너무나 같았습니다.
Yep, going back and remembering that 2012 champion summer in which CJ Frost defeated CLG way back in the day.
Yeah, CLG
EU. Yep.
And of course, that was a very epic finals.
Yeah.
Coming back from an 0-2 deficit to reverse all kill CLG EU and win the series 3-2.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's him.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, welcome to Summoner's Rift, guys. Samsung Blue versus CJ Frost in game 1, and we already have a little bit of an early invade coming in from Samsung Blue. Going to probably toss down some wards, check things out.
Yeah, well, full ward start from both teams this game, and
Yeah.
Spirit starting with a ward on Elise. So both Samsung teams these days like the full ward start on support, and they've been usually starting with a jungler who can get a ward, or basically, if they had chosen a different jungler here, I think we would have seen Acorn, Cloth, Ward, and then Pots as well, because that's what happened when we saw Samsung Ozone play and Looper's general strategy. So
Makes sense.
Interesting time right here, but good information from both teams. Of course, Mad Life starting full wards too, so they will get some decent info, and
Yeah.
the lane swap looks like it may not actually happen, and Deft and Hart will be going to lane. Now, there's not going to be an advantage because neither support started with a ward, but of course, Kog'Maw pretty vulnerable in that laning phase. A lot of pressure on Swift, and just a interesting start here.
Yeah, well, we've talked in the past about the power of that Jinx Thresh combo, but Jinx Leona has a pretty good ability to lock down a Kog'Maw that gets a bit too close too. So we'll see. Deft is going to need to be pretty careful here. Yeah, taking a little bit of damage from space already.
And Spirit will go ahead and take that blue buff. So both junglers getting 2 to start out with right here, but of course, Elise is a little bit closer to affect that side of the map. Going after the white next, while Swift chooses to go for the Wraiths. Now, of course, the changes to Kog'Maw, he does have that skill shot on his Caustic Spittle now and the increased range, so that's very helpful. And if we look at this team composition as well, there's a lot of AoE magic damage that's going to come in from Orianna and Mundo, and the shred from that Caustic Spittle is going to be very helpful. Of course, Kog'Maw's damage output very, very high in the late game, but Jinx also one of the higher damage AD carries, and both ADs pretty immobile, actually. So this is a lot of this game is going to depend on positioning.
Swift is coming up. Looks like they're going to dive onto Acorn. Acorn, can he get away? There's a flash, and they get the flash out of Shy as well, but first blood goes to Swift. He gets it anyway. Oh, but the turret just does barely enough. So they will do a bit of a trade there, but that first blood, not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, but they lost the double buffs, though, so that's a
that's a
pretty
good point,
harsh blow.
Yeah. Well, he started with double long swords, too, so.
Not to mention that Acorn was the one who actually got the kill there, whereas Shy did not.
Yeah.
So he is going to be able to go back and quickly purchase
Wow, it's a fast
Negatron cloak. So he's going to have a lot easier time against Shy right now. But that's a bit of a risk in terms of a buy. because, of course, Shyvana going to be going for the Blade of the Ruin King, so going to be putting out a lot of damage. But, of course, that's the classic problem in this matchup in the 1v1 with Mundo and Shyvana, is that Mundo really can't do anything until he gets both a Cowl and a Sunfire Cape, just because Shyvana's natural damage is magic, and she's going to be auto-attacking for a lot more physical with Blade of the Ruin King, so you really need both to be able to survive her. And at that point, the matchup starts to tilt a bit into Mundo's favor.
Well, the trick is getting there safely, so we'll see if he can. Shy going for Wraiths, just deciding to get a little bit of extra farm in the jungle before he heads back to lane again. A little bit down.
A bit of an interesting decision there, but...
Yeah, actually, he's up in CS.
Well, yeah,
he didn't get the kill.
He is going to be bullying Acorn pretty hard, as you can expect in this matchup early. We've kind of made a return. We haven't seen this matchup a whole lot in the last month or so.
Yeah, I suppose he had time until the wave got closer to turret.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine.
True enough. All right. Meanwhile, a little bit of action in the bot lane. Hart brings in Spirit. They go on to Mad Life. Mad Life with the stun onto Spirit. Hart flays away Space. Space is in big trouble. There's the execute. Spirit gets a kill. So a kill for both junglers. And assist going to the bot lane for Samsung Blue as well, too.
That was a very well set up gank right there from
Hart bringing in Spirit was really nice.
Yeah, and to the angle that they came in on as well made it so that Space didn't even really have a chance to use his flash. Well, he didn't even try because he was just dead to rights.
Well, check it out. Hart brings in Spirit. Then Hart gets a great flash flay onto Space, and the exhaust immediately. Yeah, Space is going nowhere.
Yeah, he would have been hit by that cocoon more than likely unless Spirit made a pretty grievous mechanical error. So no point in using the summoner. And Spirit getting excited again.
Yeah, he's got Spirit. Yes, he does.
He's been really happy in the booth, too. I think he's been taking giggling lessons from Cacao or something, because he's just been
we're into the
so
era of,
smiley.
We're into the era of happy junglers now, apparently.
Well, they get to carry.
It's true.
They get to carry more now that the Feral Flare is out. So
yeah, that's a good point. Swift coming in again. They want to dive Acorn. It looks like they will. Acorn trying to survive this, but he can't. And that was a bit of a cleaner gank. Nobody going down there. Shy getting low, but really good awareness, seeing that Acorn was still level 5 and really vulnerable without that ultimate.
Yeah, but great response from Samsung Blue as well. They know exactly where the jungler is, so they're just going to go ahead and try and take this dragon. Attempted a steal here.
Oop, not quite.
Not going to work. Oh, it does release a little bit.
Well, looks like they'll still be able to take it. Yep, there's the smite.
But top tower goes down in favor of Frost at the same time. Really well coordinated gank. They hit right before Acorn hit 6, while Shy had just managed to get his level. So really good read from Shy and call onto Swift to come up into that lane, to know that they would have that ultimate advantage in terms of the dive.
And now Shy 2 levels up onto Acorn as well, too. So
Acorn should hit 6 quite quickly as he pushes this back out. So it won't be,
I would imagine,
won't be too long. Now, Spirit really focusing on this bottom lane right now. He's going back, going to go get his red, and then see what he can do. Maybe get another kill right here. But Mundo has been stalled out a little bit.
Yeah.
And if basically Frost needs to be able to keep him down right now. And even though Space died, he is even in CS. So there's a little bit of a win there.
Yeah. Yeah, overall the CS looking a little bit better for CJ Frost, especially up in that top lane. And comparable in every other lane.
Acorn, we'll see if he can actually make a successful teleport play here soon. Of course, Shy coming back into the lane with that Bilgewater Cutlass going to make it very hard for him to stick around.
Yeah.
And Deft is building a Trinity Force first onto Kog'Maw.
Oh, okay.
That is not something you see very frequently, of course.
I suppose you get a little bit of movement speed from Phage, so, you know, why not? Who needs boots anyway, right?
It's pretty weird because you would get something like Blade of the Ruin King first because it just allows you to attack a lot faster for that percentage HP damage on Bio Arcane Barrage. Doesn't make you as bursty, though, and if you're concerned about mobility and you want to kite a little bit more, of course, Trinity Force will be better for that because you can just use him more as a caster with his low cooldown on his ultimate in order to just fire one off, take a few steps, get an auto, etc., etc.
I suppose the seal gives you a little bit of attack speed, too.
Yeah, this is of course, first used pretty surprisingly by Genja at the World Championships in Season 3, and we do see it occasionally in Korea, but usually not as a first item. That's what's really throwing me right now, so we'll have to keep a close eye on this and see how it works.
A Samsung player doing something unexpected. Gee, this is certainly something new, isn't it?
Well, Imp did try out the Trinity Force build at Worlds after he saw Genja doing it to a lot less success.
Right. But Samsung players in general just always willing to try things a little bit strange, a little bit different. And Spirit lurking in the jungle there. Is there a ward though? Oh,
really good.
Blue, nice.
Look at that. He has 3 wards
Def's
there.
actually in a little bit of trouble. Def going way in. What in the world? Takes a lantern out. There's a rocket though. Oh, Def nearly taken by Space's ult, but
actually good reflexes on the heel right there. Dade in trouble, has to use.
There's a shockwave, bouncing bomb coming in, a little bit of damage. Zenith Blade misses, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. Oh, he still goes down hard, tries to flash. There's a solar flare coming in. Ult from Ziggs is going to finish him off. Swift trying to get away, but Spirit is there with the execute. Spirit in trouble now though. Can he flash over the wall? He will. Takes an extra auto, but he makes it out.
Yeah, really dicey fight there, and not very well.
Oh, there's a flash bouncing bomb, and Coco. What a mid laner Coco is sometimes. His mechanics are really stellar once in a while.
And look at this. There's just nothing Acorn can do about Shyvana right here, although Shy doesn't have his ultimate at the moment.
Well, he got a bit low, but with Burnout, he can just kind of
I'm actually really surprised Acorn didn't pursue that further. He had just popped his ult, and there was no Dragon's Descent on Shy right there. He would have healed up even through that Ignite.
I don't know. Maybe he just didn't know when the ult was coming up. Hard to say. Bot lane turret taking a little bit of damage, but Deft is there to counteract that. Shy is still with a pretty massive CS lead over Acorn, and we saw the strength of that just a moment ago, and I think it looks like he's got Acorn just kind of scared right now. Oh, Swift jumping onto Heart. There's the flash. There's the kick, or safeguard rather, the ward for the kick, and Heart getting taken down by Coco. Another kill piled onto Ziggs. CJ Frost is really starting to take control of this game.
Yeah, they are. They have a very large lead at the moment, and it's been well earned, and that attempt at a teleport was rather disastrous.
They're looking really good. Maybe people have to rethink some of their predictions here. Spirit getting a bit caught by Swift. Mad Life on top. There's a solar flare. Doesn't hit because of the repel. Swift can't quite get the connection onto Spirit. Def coming up. A little bit of ultimate damage. Going to push away CJ Frost, but they're just going to take this mid turret
everywhere, putting pressure on the map right now.
Yeah, he's going for the MVP this game.
This is really impressive play. He's just going straight onto Dade.
There's the ult. Coco nearly claims it. Dade gets out on the dark passage. Or takes a little bit of damage. Oh, the rocket barely misses Dade.
And this shows that problem with picking Mundo in the 1v1 too.
Yeah, it does.
This is the reason why it fell out of favor a little bit. As soon as people discovered that you could play Shyvana with Blade into him and just crush him in lane.
Yeah, I mean, Looper got away with it, but then again, Looper is like the teleport Mundo in Korea. Acorn's good, but
Looper was also not in a 1v1.
That's
so
also, that's a good
that
point
makes
too,
the big difference right there.
Well, there you go. And Def will get a little bit more XP and gold off the mini golems. You know, they're really not that mini. They're about the same size as the
It's all a comparison.
Suppose.
It's all a comparison.
If anything is slightly smaller, it's mini.
Uh-huh.
So you're like you're like slightly shorter than me, but not by much. So does that mean you're the mini Monty?
I guess that's me.
All right. Now we know. Shober's like slightly shorter than you, so he's like the mini caster in Korea.
He could be tiny. I'll be mini.
Tiny and mini. All right. The global fans have really good seats today, man. They're all in front.
I got front row.
Yeah.
Okay, well, second dragon of the game. Looks like it will be going over to Frost. Not a lot that Samsung Blue can do right now. Popping a ward over the wall. They'll see what's going on. They'll get the timer, but they're not going to be able to contest. And man, Shy is just a monster. Has that 40 CS advantage, has made the top side of the jungle of Samsung Blue his own.
Yeah. Oh, Coco. Having a delicious time in the mid lane.
So Frost looking really stable right here. They've had very measured aggression.
Oh, that was really close. That Descent nearly hit space.
So I don't know about this. I don't know about this Trinity Force Kog'Maw build. I just don't think he's not going to be able to do enough early on in this game. And it also leaves him very vulnerable with little sustain.
Yeah. Well, that is true. Shy pretty much still going wherever he wants. 50 CS up now.
Okay, well, just more farming of the enemy jungle right there. Shy has been all over that. I mean, he's still 2 levels up just due to the jungle farming. He just presses, takes out the minion wave, then goes back into the jungle. So he's been able to get a substantial amount of additional experience.
Yep.
Taking away some buffs, and wow.
4 turrets to 0 now for CJ Frost.
CJ Frost is just wrecking this game. Though.
Yeah, they are, man. They are really crushing Samsung Blue, and this is not what we were expecting. Cocoon misses, and Spirit's going to have to back off a little bit. Dade was there, but yeah, this is kind of a surprising start.
It is indeed, and they need to get vision control back of their jungle. Another blue buff might be going over to Shy and Swift right here.
Yeah,
indeed it will.
Oh, Cocoon, Swift manages to safeguard out of that one.
It's another denial onto Dade. Dade's been doing a decent job of farming even without that, but he really hasn't been able to answer in terms of kills or in terms of map pressure. Of course, Ziggs famous for pushing Orianna in very early on, and Dade really not able to do much. And the scary thing, too, for Samsung Blue is they're not really going to outscale. And we're looking at pretty even scaling for both of these team compositions. Kog'Maw, Jinx, Orianna, Ziggs, Shyvana, Mundo. These are all champions that are great in the late game.
Well, we've got, kind of similar teams all around in Frost versus Blue right now. And, like we've seen many, many times before, if we've got kind of similar teams, the first person to get a lead usually can snowball that pretty drastically, pretty quickly.
Yeah, indeed. But the advantage of map control should still go to Blue in the late game just due to the fact that they have teleport. But they have to use it better. The first teleport was just coordinated very poorly.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. And looks like CJ Frost trying to maybe set up a little bit of a pick. Nope, moving into the jungle now. And they will be spotted by this ward. Oh, yeah.
And the Kog'Maw.
And Def lets him know right away. Yeah, he's like, oh, I see you. Oh, Coco. Spirit trying to collapse on him, but Coco gets away easily enough. Heart still there, charging in. He's going to get the Death Sentence onto Coco. Madlife flashes up for the stun onto Spirit. They try to lock down Coco again with the box. Madlife takes some damage. Swift as well. Swift very low. Spirit gets kicked out. It's a jungler duel, and Swift wins it. Rocket screams through the middle, but doesn't hit anybody. Spaces Rockets this game. Those ultimates from Jinx have not really been hitting like they need to.
He's really far away. It's hard to hit those Rockets. Forces the flash right there, though. And also in that fight, we saw the teleport used again from Acorn, but he was just too late. So they used it, but they didn't get anything for it. And indeed, they may lose this turret. Coco coming back around to put on some pressure, throws a bouncing bomb into the river brush, but just very poor rotations here from Samsung Blue, and I mean the teleport was just useless. It was too late.
Samsung Blue just looks purely outplayed right now. They look so confused moving around the map rather. They don't know how to respond to CJ.
Yeah, and they also are trying to get the Mundo into the Jinx lane right now, even though Jinx, he doesn't have any armor at the moment, so he's going to be really suffering.
Oh, Shy. Wow. That was... and it was like, oh, the Death Sentence catches him, and Heart comes in. They're going to bring in Spirit as well. Can they get a kill here? Shy running for his life. Deft is there as well. There's a Cocoon. Shy under turret. Heart's just going to keep chasing, but yeah, with that turret still near full health, they're just going to focus on pushing it. Oh, here comes the ult from Coco to clear the wave.
Really bad flash from Spirit right there. And Dade gets caught by Swift.
Swift trying to catch him there, and can he do it? The kick didn't work out, but there's the Q, and Swift gets the execute. And CJ Frost, she just can't believe it. It's walking all over Samsung Blue. Oh, a kick on the Heart. Heart gonna go down easily. This has turned into a bit of a raffle stomp.
It has. Everybody on Frost is just so far ahead. They're able to out-rotate in spite of the lack of teleport, and Samsung Blue just has no control over any aspect of this game at this point. I mean, Frost,
not really.
They can really start thinking about setting up some vision and maybe playing even an early Baron right here, considering they're 8K gold up. And we have seen Frost improving slowly but surely over the course of the season. And of course, the last time we saw them play, they did, and of course, Shy and Coco fans, they did beat Najin White Shield, one of the top teams here in Korea. But They were really looking good in their first match tonight.
You know, what is really amazing when you think about it is that the Samsung organization, Blue and Ozone combined, including the quarterfinal match on Wednesday, both teams combined have only lost 2 games total in Champion Spring. So it's a pretty momentous event that Blue is looking like they're probably going to lose this one here.
Oh yeah, and they're sitting on top of a ward right now.
Yeah,
so
that doesn't help.
Nobody has bothered to clear that brush.
Nope, not yet. And Baron, the order of the business for CJ Frost. Samsung Blue's going to try to collapse on it, but Baron going down fairly quickly. Madlife is there to zone. Spirit coming in. Solar Flare onto Spirit. He manages to repel out of it, but he's coming down. There's a nice satchel charge, knocking Spirit back. Deft takes a Dark Passage out of there. Really good pick from CJ Frost.
What's, I think, the most impressive thing about Frost this game has been they've had nearly perfect mechanics from all of their players.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Oh, Hart gets jumped on. Shy coming in. Samsung Blue routed immediately, trying to run away. There's a Shockwave, doesn't do anything. Oriana dies too quickly. Acorn tanky, but not able to tank really at all. Deft getting a kill into Swift, it looks like, but that is going to be the only one I think he gets. Looks like they might let him go, though.
Deft
yeah,
just
he is
isn't
doing a lot of damage.
I mean, Deft just isn't doing any damage
but
at all. I mean, that's the thing is,
space.
Nice shot.
No kidding. Wow.
The Trinity Force followed by the Vampiric Scepter. He just turned it into a Cutlass, but Space definitely has that big auto attack damage edge right now, and all Deft can do is poke down from the outside. But considering there's no armor right now on CJ Frost at all, you really see how little damage Deft is doing. One armor item on Shyvana would mean that there's just no way that even Kog'Maw can really kill her.
Might be time for Samsung Blue to alt Def 4 out of this one. Yeah. I said it. Yep.
Yeah, so Frost looking very sharp coming here tonight. This will, I'm sure, make a lot of the CJ Frost fans happy who have been kind of suffering through their rebuilding this season, but
yeah, well,
it
was inevitable. I mean, it's such a talented group of players. You can't keep them down forever, and if there's a time to come back, this is definitely the best time to do it.
Well, I also think that the meta, too, with Shy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Really helping them out. He is such a dominant top laner, and he's always been at his best when he can get those kills, when he can play aggressively in 1v1s. And that really wasn't happening for a lot of the time due to the tank meta.
Oh, Coco throwing in the bomb. They kick Dade out. And can they chase him Shy over the top? Oh, Shockwave hits nobody. And Swift claims an easy kill there. Looks like Spirit decides, oh, nope, he's going to live. All right, or will he? Ooh, boy, that was close. Oh, hello.
Now they're just going to turn straight into the Baron. They have that vision control and just pushing down the Baron as fast as possible.
Yeah, and they should be able to get it this time. No contest at all from Samsung Blue, so that's going to be a Baron now for CJ Frost.
Dade definitely not having his best game, but honestly, what is he supposed to do? The team comp as a whole lacks a certain amount of mobility. Hart doesn't have a talisman yet, and he just keeps getting jumped on by all of these gap closers from Lee Sin, Shyvana, and Leona.
Juno? Well, Swift, the observer pointing out right now, having a pretty incredible game. 7-4-5 on Lee Sin, but man, look at Coco, 5-0-4. You know, when Coco gets on a roll, he just does not die in games.
And look at this, Deft will be pushing down the first tower for Samsung Blue at nearly 23 minutes.
That is painful.
Just goes to show how the degree to which CJ Frost has dictated the pace of this game.
Yep. Yeah. Getting your first turret in 23 minutes.
Look at the difference to an itemization between Coco and Dade right now. Dade has the Chalice and a needlessly large rod, and Coco has a completed Death Cap and a Void Staff.
Yeah.
There is virtually no hope for Samsung Blue to come back in this one.
Hurts like getting a paper cut on your finger and then rubbing it on sandpaper.
Ooh, ow.
Yeah, or like skinning your knees as a kid and then like kneeling in a sandbox.
Stop it though, you're making—
That's not smart.
You're making the viewers wince.
I know, right? It's not quite nails on a chalkboard, but.
Okay, well here's a siege coming in, and even though Samsung Blue is relatively well equipped to deal with this siege, the Ziggs with the blue buff going to make it pretty darn tough. And they also can't do much about Shy's split pushing right here. Shy actually going for a Phage as his next item. So maybe going for a Trinity Force here. That would be quite odd.
You know, why not? Oh, I guess Hart died. That happened.
From Mad Life in space.
Yep. Oh, Dade gets kicked out. Suddenly Swift and Shy way deep in the base. Everybody else is joining. Spirit, the first victim to fall. Def maybe soon afterwards. Acorn low, he's going to get out of space with a kill there. Def makes it back to Fountain, but that is going to mean most likely a dead inhibitor in favor of CJ Frost. Yeah, they're going to get it. And CJ Frost, they can kind of just chill out in the base for a while. They don't really need to go anywhere just yet. Yeah, go ahead and Death Sentence Shy. I don't think that's a big problem.
Man, this Ziggs is doing so much damage right now.
Ooh, they need to be careful here. Space is a little bit low. Oh, but Dade! So low, is it enough? No, not quite.
It's fine, though. They don't. I really like how they didn't overplay that at all. They just rotate, play cautiously, rotate over, take the mid lane tower, get out as people start to respawn. Make sure that there's no room for a comeback. So we're going to take a long look at Dade right now, who isn't having the world's best game.
Well, man, I mean, it's like how there's Imp not happy as well. Dade is one of those players where unfortunately there's like a ton of pictures of him looking really anguished.
Like
it's
Ryu?
like him and Ryu and Long Panda are like, if you need like a, you know, like a stock image for an article about sad pro gamers, like there you go. Those three guys they're a treasure trove.
There you go. Wow, no armor really taken by Shy either. He is just unconcerned with the damage coming out of Deft, and why should he be? He's so far ahead at this point, and just his crushing domination of that top lane really allowed everybody else on his team to a lot more freedom around the map, particularly Swift, because after the first couple of ganks, when they got a couple kills onto Mundo in the top lane. From there, it was just all Shy able to control the Mundo and dictate when he couldn't use teleport, as well as just constantly pushing down the top two outer turrets. And I mean, after that, Swift was just unleashed on the rest of the map.
Yeah. Lee Sin unleashed. He was unleashed. I don't know, man. That was a pretty bad one.
That was a pretty bad one. I can't save you from that one,
even
Noah.
For me, that was pretty bad. Oh,
well, Shy just completed his Trinity Force because I guess he just doesn't care. And he will be, of course, dealing a significant amount of damage with that. Able to, even without the mana, use that Sheen very effectively.
Well, Shy, Coco, and Space, you know, everybody together, like...
He's also just going to be able to push down turrets so fast.
Yep.
His attack speed right now
Great wave clear.
is at 1.5, which I don't know if I've ever seen on a Shyvana before.
Oh, somehow. How did that Death Sentence miss?
Banshee Spell.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right. Oh, Coco manages to take out Dade. Wow. Rough game for Dade. Deft out of the fight immediately. That's going to be another inhibitor. And they can just rotate to mid if they want to. They may even be able to just close here. Yeah, they're not afraid of fighting at all. Def gets jumped on immediately. Shy doing so much damage. Def barely escapes. Shy exhausted, but there goes the second Nexus turret. Everyone focusing on Shy. And now CJ Frost going to kill that Nexus easily. GG and CJ Frost. Best game of the season for those guys. They will claim first blood in this best of 5.
Insane. I don't think anybody expected to see Frost come in and look so dominant today, but they
CJ fans did, apparently.
They really showed up, and you can see all the work that this team has done. Of course, there's Coach Sun.
Yep.
Usually Blaze's coach. I'm a bit surprised to see him in the booth, but here to give out some help. And Swift, man, what a great game.
Yeah.
And the thing about Swift, too, Dade has a bit of a pained expression, is Swift.
Really rough game for him.
Swift has always had a very strong early game, and he's been very mechanically impressive. But earlier this season, when Frost would get a lead, like in their games against Ozone, Swift would overcommit. He would play too risky, and he had a propensity for dying in the mid game and throwing leads. But this game, Swift was able to make the plays much more intelligently, much more safely, while still being able to pick up some solo kills, even onto Dade late into the game. And that is really impressive.
Well, I mean, CJ's had a little bit of time to work on things. They've been practicing hard, no doubt. up to this match, and it shows. They are looking better in game one than they have looked all season long. And a little bit of a pep talk for Def there. And I think Blue needs it. You know, they were coming into this as the favorites, and suddenly everything is pretty much swapped around.
I'm just blown away by this Frost team. And
yeah.
I was very hopeful when they announced that Swift would be coming back to rejoin his old teammate Coco from Zenix Storm, because they had such
a great pair.
They had such great synergy. And we really see that. And Coco has just been having these dominating performances, adding Ziggs to his Nidalee play from the last time we saw Frost, which was also just sparkling.
Yeah, well, a win for CJ Frost. And again, this is a best of 5, so plenty of time for Samsung Blue to come back and show why they've been one of the dominant teams in Champion Spring so far. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with game 2 after this.
Coming up next, Samsung Blue, CJ Entus Frost. Hot 6 League of Legends Champion Spring 2014 Quarterfinal Group